Hi, this is Sarah Daniels. Welcome to the VCDX Spotlight series. Today we have Raymond with us, and he's going to talk a little bit about his VCDX journey. Welcome.
Thanks. Hello. I'm Raymond de Jong. I'm VCDX 284. I'm based in the Netherlands, and I just recently started as a technical product manager in the network and security business unit. So yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. So how long ago did you get your VCDX?
I think it's about 1.5 years ago, September timeframe.
And what was that process like for you?
For me, it was really smooth. First of all, it was my first attempt, and luckily I succeeded the first attempt. So really happy with that, because it's quite a interesting event in your life and defending. It was a good experience. I think I was well prepared and well rested, and yeah, so it went well.
What did you do to prepare for the process?
So making sure you get a lot of practice, right? So obviously you have to do a lot of work before you can even submit a defense date or get invited to defend. But once you've done that, you need to really get your story ready and be ready to present the slides and present and be ready to answer questions. So I've got great help from a number of colleagues, my back then the manager, Kevin Barras, and some others as well, mentoring me and making sure I get the right exercise to be ready to answer questions. So also, I think experience is important in terms of, I was working in PSO, and you meet a lot of customers, you do a lot of workshops, and you get a lot of experience doing whiteboarding with them, thinking on your feet, answering questions. And I think that helped me actually really a lot to be able to be prepared for a defense like VCDX.
Yeah, that makes sense. So once you got your VCDX, what changed for you? Did you move into a new role? What were the next steps?
I didn't change roles. I was very happy where I was back then. And what really changed for me is how I approach customers and how I approach current designs, for example, how I approach and deal with workshops. So doing the VCDX track really helps you to think like an architect and to understand really what things are, like customer requirements, what constraints are, thinking about all the aspects like, the design qualities of manageability, security, and so forth. So it really puts your mind in that frame of thinking to be able to more on a higher level talk to customers and to deal with their requirements and to frame them, if you like, and to put context to them.
Absolutely. So what are next steps for you? Where do you go from here? You kind of achieved the pinnacle of certification.
Yeah, well, I was for a while thinking about doing a second one, for example, on automation. But right now with the new role, I'm so extremely busy with that. And I mean, for me, what I've learned in VCDX is that mindset. Adding a second VCDX for me doesn't add too much in that sense. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to expanding my product management role, and when I meet customers, to use that skills as well moving forward.
What advice would you give to others who are coming up through the process, who have achieved certifications and are looking at VCDX? Mm-hmm. How would you encourage them through that process?
Yeah, so first of all, obviously, you need to know the area you are defending for. So in my case, I did network virtualization. So obviously, you need to know your product. And I actually did an NSXT defense. I think I'm the first succeeding in NSXT defense. And back then, the product was a bit newer to people. So for me as well, it required me to understand the product and obviously do the certifications. I did actually an NSXT certification back then, but right now you would do the NSXT ones. So know the product, get a lot of practice doing mock defenses with your mentor, with other VCDXs. If you want to do a session with me, please reach out to me. I'm happy to do so, because these are really crucial to get thinking of your feet and to understand that a panelist looks at your design and has some questions in certain areas and really is interested to know why you did a certain design decision. And you might not expect that perspective. So getting that preparation is really important. And finally, I would say a real good project, a real good customer environment or architecture environment you are defending for. So in my case, I work with a customer, and this was really a nice kind of scoped project with nice challenging requirements and constraints, like real world constraints, real customer environments, because that really forces you to design with those constraints in mind, and that supports you in getting a nice design and be able to defend it, because you can explain why you did that. I know people do fictional designs. I personally don't like that approach for the reason that it can easily grow too large and your scope is not really defined, and you cannot make up constraints like some customers put forward, right? So that's also a tip I would give.
Makes sense. Let's talk a little bit about the future. What innovations do you see in the industry right now, or what you've been doing that are particularly exciting to you? And where do you see the industry going in general?
Yeah, so I think working for VMware, obviously we see a lot of multi-cloud challenges right now, and obviously that's the future. Hybrid clouds, being able to move to different clouds and be able to have workloads across everywhere, right? Hyperscalers or on-prem. Furthermore, automation, and that's an area I'm currently focusing on, is extremely important. Everything is API driven. Infrastructure as code is extremely growing. I love products like Terraform to automate your data center. And I'm also looking a bit at vSphere with Tanzu, which is all about Kubernetes. And I think that's an area which is growing more and more. And coming from a vSphere networking kind of background, learning that technology and seeing how that develops on vSphere, for example, that's really nice to see, because it makes it understandable for people like me and has real potential for the future. And machine learning, I think that's something I need to focus more on, because I see it more and more being adapted in our products and other vendors as well.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time and expertise. And we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and see you again.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hi, my name is Raymond de Jong. I'm VCDX 284, based in the Netherlands, currently a technical product manager at the NSBU at VMware. If you're thinking about VCDX, remember, it's not only about obtaining that VCDX number, but really about, the journey to get there. For me, the journey was more important, and actually I learned to achieve skills which I became a better architect. And not just only someone who just only knows technology. So if you want to become a better architect, do better workshops at your customer, have a look at the VCDX program. I think it's great.